So a couple of you guys weren't able to come during orientation, so I wanted to, for the first couple of times that we're going to meet, we're going to go through the intros again so that the others who weren't able to join will be able to know who you guys are, and subsequently you'll know who they are as well. So let's start with intros before we start our goal setting exercise. So every start of a program, I try to always do a goal setting exercise so that you guys are able to reflect on what you want to achieve for the semester or for the summer. So, let's start off the introductions first with our newest enrollee. We have Kovas. I am very interested in getting to know you better. So let's name, university, major, one thing about you that's interesting.
Hi, I'm Kovas. I'm a rising senior at the University of Colorado Boulder. I'm a double major in data analytics and accounting. I live in Chicago, Illinois. And one interesting thing about me, Lithuanian is my first language.
Thank you, Kovas. How about you, Tanner? I know that you were able to join last in orientation, but you weren't able to speak. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, my name is Tanner. I go to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I'm a computer science major. Something interesting, I guess I like to travel and eat a lot.
Thanks, Tanner. How about you, William?
Hey everyone, I'm William. I'm a rising sophomore at Harvard studying economics and applied math. And a fun fact about me is that I'm on the Harvard golf team.
Thank you, William. Um, so Lucas can't speak right now. Maybe you can put your like introductions in the chat, Lucas, if that's fine with you. I know that Wei Jing also can't speak right now because she is currently traveling. How about you, Wilfred?
My name is Wilfred. I go to the University of Michigan. I'm studying kinesiology and a minor in real estate investing. Fun fact about me, I'm on the wrestling team here.
Thank you, Wilfred. Oliver?
Hi, I'm a rising junior at CU Boulder. I am majoring in economics and minoring in business. And one thing interesting about me is that I grew up in Spain.
Thanks, Oliver. Landon.
My name is Landon. I'm from New Jersey. I go to the University of Michigan, and an interesting thing about me is that my favorite sport is soccer.
James Evans.
Hi, my name is James. I'm from Connecticut. I'm a student at the University of Michigan, majoring in math, stats, CS, and data science. And one interesting about me is I used to be a business major.
Thanks, James. How about the other James? James Bowise.
I'm James. I'm from Union City, New Jersey. I'm a rising junior at Harvard. I'm studying computer science and statistics. And a fun fact about me is I used to live in Ecuador.
Thank you, James. And how about you, Sukhmandeep?
Hi, my name is Sukhmandeep. I'm majoring in computer science at the University of Michigan, and one interesting thing about me is I like to watch basketball and football.
Lauren.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I go to the University of Maryland and Global Campus, and I am a senior. I'm majoring in computer networking and cybersecurity with a minor in forensics. One interesting fact about me is that I found out I like accounting, so I might go back and get an accounting, a bachelor's in accounting after I finish.
Thank you, Lauren. Alex.
Hey there, my name's Alex. I'm majoring in computer engineering at McMaster University in Canada. And a fun fact about me is that I have a TED Talk on YouTube. You should go watch.
Nice. How about you, Bebek?
Hey, I'm Vivek, and I'm majoring in computer and electrical engineering at the University of Michigan. Um, and what's the other question? Fun fact. Yeah, so one fun fact about me is that I play cricket. Yeah.
Thank you, Bebek. Is there anyone else who can speak or who is able to open their cameras? I'm not sure who the last person who joined is. Your name is not in the written in Zoom. I'd also like to introduce myself for those who are new. My name is Rose. I am the remote program manager. I've been with SageCore for 3 years. I have run both remote and in-person programs. I went to the University of Missouri. Um, I majored in cellular biology and biotechnology. Interesting fact about me, I have 14 dogs and I continue to rescue dogs. And what else? And I speak 5 languages. Okay. So let's start off our goal setting exercise. As I mentioned, I really like doing goal setting exercises at the beginning of every program so that you are more in line with what you guys want to achieve for the summer. So have any of you guys completed the PDF I sent you? It's okay if you haven't. Just let me know if you have.
I have not. I haven't completed.
Okay, so our goal is to complete that today, and then you need to send that over to me so that I can count that as credit for you for participating in this event. For those who have not who have not joined, we are sending this recording so that you can watch it and also so that you can send over your PDF so that can count as participation as well. So let's start off with the goal setting exercise. So can you guys see my screen? So let's talk about goals. What are your goals for this summer and specifically for this program? Let's start with you, William. I know that you've already started with your startup. So what are your goals that you have formulated now that you've gotten to know your CEO and the work that you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm pretty interested in working in finance as a future career, but I wasn't very sure of that. So one of my goals with this program was just to see whether I would like working in it. I know I love studying econ, and another goal that I would have is just to see if econ is in any way related to the work that I'm doing. It's been a good time so far, and I'm looking forward to learning more about finance in general.
Thank you, William. How about let's start with someone next who has not started yet, who's very new. Let's start with you, Kovas. What are your goals for this summer?
I would say first and foremost, just to gain some valuable real life experience, especially working with a startup. They're working from the ground up, so every every input matters. So I think wearing multiple hats and being able to adapt to the work environment around me is going to be very important. And then on the other hand, also improving my hard skills in data analysis and how that's going to translate to the corporate world.
Thank you, Kovas. How about you, Wilfred?
Coming into this program, I think one of my big goals for me is just I've never I just want to see learn to get experience doing sales because I've had this my whole life I've had this preconception of what it is and kind of based on the experience that I've been going through this summer with other stuff that I've been doing outside of school, I kind of realized that weight sales might be my thing. So through this program, I kind of want to see what exactly a day to day would look like and if that's something I want to pursue post grad. So that's kind of one of my goals.
Awesome. And how about you, Bebek? What are your goals for this program?
Yeah, so my primary goal is to like see how the startup really works, like the functionality, the environment. of a startup. Along with that, like personally, I want to like the skills I have developed so far. I want to put it in like use, and also I want to gain more. I mean, pick up new skills and connect with more people. Yeah.
Thank you, Bebek. And how about you, Lauren?
I wanted to learn from those who have experience in the working world since I've only had experience in the classroom and not I've not had like a real job in the corporate world and apply what I've learned in the future job opportunities that I've offered. Those are my goals.
Thank you. And how about you, Tanner? What are your goals for this summer?
Yeah, I think I specifically want to work in an AI sector and see how companies approach it, like how they think about implementing it, and basically like getting more comfortable with using it just because it's such like a big thing now, especially in computer science. So yeah, mostly that, and then getting some real world experience as well.
Thank you, Tanner. How about you, Alex?
So one of my big goals is to understand, or at least try to figure out as soon as possible, um, what is my main field of interest in the tech industry that I want to pursue after graduation. I've been wanting to get into machine learning for a long time, so I want to make sure I get as much of it as possible so that I understand, is this something I want to pursue in the future? And as well as also from my team and from the startup and from the connections my CEO has with other big brands. I want to be able to grow my network with more reliable and valuable connections that can maybe lead to offers down the road and opportunities.
Thank you. Um, how about you, James Evans?
My main goal is to develop my network, and then another goal I have is to acquire more working experience. Um, I really enjoyed during my first month of work building an algorithm for the startup. So if I could continue doing things like that, um, I think I'd have a really good time.
Thanks, James. And how about Sukhmandeep?
My goals for this program are gain real world experience by doing software development projects and also improve my technical skills so I can apply to future jobs.
Thank you, Landon.
Could you repeat the question, please?
What are your goals for the program?
Oh, I'd say that my goals generally are just to gain a lot of professional experience and just really learn like the ins and outs of like the gaming industry. And I feel like really confident in that because with the company that I've been paired with, I feel like I'm really going to get a lot out of it as they have like a lot of like, higher up connections. And I feel like that's really just kind of like aligns with what I want from the program.
Thank you, Landon. And how about you, James Pelias?
Yeah, so to piggyback on what's already said, I want to just develop and gain more real world experience. And with that being said, also specifically to gain technical experience on software and applications like Docker and Git. Basically, just the things that don't get taught at a very theory heavy college. And also personally, I also wanted to connect with and meet with international and also intercultural professionals just in the field of tech in general.
Thank you, Oliver.
My goal is to start applying my skills to like a real world like situation. So now I can start instead of like doing it theoretically, like I can actually start applying what I've learned.
Thank you, guys. Is there anyone else who hasn't gone who can open their camera and speak? I know the others aren't able to. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What are some specific actions that you can take to achieve the goals that you just mentioned? Think about that for a couple seconds and then let's start with James Pelias.
Yeah, so I would say one of the things that I was one of the actions was probably to schedule just periodic check-ins to track progress and just get feedback from the CEO, and also something else. Probably just take some time other than the internship or the work that I'm going to be doing to learn applications that I'm not too familiar with, again, to not fall behind and be on top of everything that I had to do. And again, for just personal reasons, I also want to take some time, perhaps on the weekends, to just explore the city that I'm in.
Thank you, James. And yes, James is currently in the Netherlands right now. Are you in Utrecht, James?
I'm actually in Rotterdam, but I am commuting to Utrecht for when I do have to do the internship.
So how long is the commute?
It's a 30-minute commute on the train.
Got it. Okay, good. And have you met with your startup yet?
No, we're actually meeting tomorrow just because there was some strikes going on until the trains were like not working. But tomorrow.
Yeah, that usually happens in Europe. So there are some apps that you can check out that will help you know when there are strikes and where they're happening. Okay, great. How about you, Sukmandeep? What are your specific actions that you can take to achieve those goals?
I would say setting like daily tasks so I can prioritize what to do during the week. Like for each day, I would do a certain task so I can meet deadlines.
Thank you. And how about you, Landon?
Some specific things I can do, like achieve my goals, just help like build like good connections with like my team and my coworkers, and just like learn a lot from like what they teach me and like from their experiences, and then also just try and like polish my skills to be like proficient in what I do to help build like a good reputation.
Thank you. Oliver.
Some actions I can take are, well, just taking initiative in general and maybe not being afraid to ask questions either. And like what was said before, maybe not being afraid to connect with the team more than, so you actually get to know who you're working with.
That's true. I always encourage the students to build connections with their coworkers, especially because there are a couple exercises where you're doing informational exercises where you get to ask coworkers questions. So I highly encourage you building those relationships. James Evans.
Some actions I could take to achieve my goals are um, working hard, leaving a good impression, and going to more dinners.
Are you guys you live close to the CEOs or yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I went down to New York City like last week. Took like a train ride. It was like an hour and a half. And then I spent the day, with my boss. And then, we had like a morning meeting with the devs who are building the app. And then we had um, a dinner in the evening with the investors in the startup. So at that dinner, I was able to develop a lot of connections, and it was a really good experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much. How about you, Alex?
I have several things. So one is that for improving my skills, I want to use external resources inside and outside of work hours so I can further my skills. So it'd be books, other websites like Code Academy, other personal projects, for example, that I can use. Um, Key thing is that I want to be able to journal on what I worked on or accomplished, ideally every day, so I can track my progress and achievements. That help to when I'm putting my experience on my resume for after the internship, as well as work diligently to build both a good reputation, but also accomplish tasks quickly and deliver beyond expectations rather than just what's expected or the minimum. And as well as also to over communicate or constantly seek feedback to constantly improve my work.
And you are also working in person sometimes, right?
Hybrid, yes. Some
Yeah.
days I'll be working in person.
Okay. How about Tanner?
Yeah, I think just being super involved and asking questions when I need to and building really strong connections with the people that I'm working with. And also, as people were saying, like the rest of the team, and also just setting deadlines and schedules to make sure I stay on track.
Thank you, Tanner. And the company that you're with is, I know that you're interested in AI. They have not only that company, they're also affiliated with other companies that are in the AI space. I would use that as much as you can to build those connections. Wilfred.
Okay. For me, I think ideally I'd like to be put in a position to where I can take ownership of at least one full outreach cycle. So from lead generation to initial contact to the closing, just so I could document and see what works, what doesn't work, and just kind of start building those skills from the ground up.
Thank you, Wilfred. Lauren.
I answer the question by saying I could, by asking questions and being proactive, making sure I understand the systems that the startup is using. And I've already been in LinkedIn and watching videos and on like the startup I'm working with is using Monday.com and Slack and Google Drive. So I've been becoming more familiar with those, and hopefully that can help. And a lot of the answers that other people have said, I hadn't, some of them I hadn't thought about. So I'm gonna put that, like, creating a journal I think would be really helpful. So I'm gonna do that with my daily tasks that I've completed.
Thank you, Lauren. How about you, William?
For me, I think the most important action or just mindset in general that I could have during this program is just to be invested in learning. I hope that I can absorb as much knowledge about finance and business as possible. And then also just to echo what everyone else has been saying, I think it's really important to be proactive with communication, and track the progress of my work. And that should help me not only become a more productive employee for the company, but also help me achieve my goals.
Awesome. Be back.
So I was so like the specific actions that I'm gonna take is like utilize the use of LinkedIn Learning, go in depth into the skills that I have already learned on the basic level and apply those in the real world. And also have a to-do list, which will help me to track my work progress. And I believe connecting with the my colleagues as well, like learning from their journeys or like how the company is like doing or something like that, which will help me to like be part of the team more effectively. Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who hasn't gone?
I have not gone yet.
Okay, great.
Um,
Go ahead.
one specific or a couple of specific actions. I think it's important for me to come into the workplace with a curious attitude, asking as many questions as I can as I'm there to learn, but also paying clear attention to detail when I'm being taught something and taking on all responsibilities that I'm handed. And for me, that just means going beyond what is expected of me to my best ability. And from a networking standpoint, I think just to be more open and personable with my colleagues and to learn from their experiences.
Thank you so much, Kovas. That's a very good outlook. Um, so how can this program help you achieve your professional goals after the program ends? Let's start with you, Alex. You've done this program before, so I want to get your feel of like how this program can help achieve or further your skill set and also your resume building.
Yeah, one of the most important things I think that will definitely help. Let me just so I think the big thing you have is to when you're invested in learning, it's good that you equip yourself with the correct mindset. So you want to be both disciplined, but also have that continuous learning thought process so you can take on large projects and then you can chase those ambitious goals in the future. But also for me personally, working with a like-minded co-founder, and let alone for a startup. I want to study the process involved in starting and running a successful business in the future. So maybe one day I can begin my own business. So for me, it's definitely a big mindset thing, but also learning from not just yourself, but also everyone around you.
Thank you, Alex. How about you, Kobas?
It's just about my professional goals, or
Yes. How do you think this program can help you achieve your professional goals at the end of the program?
I think just being able to work with a startup is going to help me kind of define my allow me to make a definition of work and what it really means. Like people who work with startups know that you may not only be working in your specialty. If you're in marketing, you might be doing some finance stuff or some data analytics, and et cetera. But just the point is that starting a company is not easy and it's not comfortable, and it goes the same for all its employees. So I'm just ready to take on anything that comes my way, and I'll try to be a jack of all trades to my best ability.
Thank you. How about you, William?
First off, it's going to help me decide on whether I do want to pursue a career in traditional finance. And if I do end up liking it, which I think I will, the program should give me a lot of practical, like technical experience with finance, which should help with the recruiting process that's coming up.
Yes, and we've had students who, after doing the program, they ch completely changed their majors, and that's okay because I always say that as long as you figure out early on what you want to do and what you don't want to do, then that's a win. As long as you're able to identify that and work, like change your perspective if needed, then that's a win for us. Okay, great. How about you, Bebek?
Yeah, so I think the connection I'm gonna form through this program, which is gonna be really valuable. And along with that, the skills assessments plus the mock interviews, I think they were very helpful for me. Um, and also the startups. So like you don't explore only your field in a startup environment where I probably most likely gonna see different areas as well. So yeah.
Thank you. How about you, Wilfred?
One second, gotta get mute. Okay. Um, I think by going through this program, if I'm able to make the most of it, I think it'll give me a repeatable sales system that I can use later on for future endeavors, whether that means starting my own business or learning how to scale things. So by being able to be in a position where I can see how startups scale and drive growth, I think I'll be able to apply that to my own things later on in life.
Thank you. Lauren?
Um, the program can help me achieve my professional goals afterwards because it will help me determine better what areas I want to focus on for job opportunities. Since I'm working with like data analysis, I'll see if I like that or if I want to change to something else. I haven't really done much. I've only done a little bit of data analysis, so seeing how I'll work with it in the startup and then see if I want to pursue more of it or like change to do something completely different like you said will be interesting, and I'm excited to see about that. And then they also said how the startup also said how it's fast paced and changes very quickly what you do, and every day is different, and I like that idea. So um, going into a job in the future, I feel like I'll be prepared for a lot of different tasks that could be placed in front of me.
And James Evans.
Developing a network will help me break into my desired industry and help me get employed following college.
Thank you, Tanner.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is just building connections with people that have a lot of experience and like soaking all the information in like fields that I'm super interested in. So I guess just building a lot of knowledge and help me get employed in the future.
Sukmandeep.
Yeah, I would also say the connections that I would make during this program will help me to get a full-time job easier. And also, I feel like I'll gain confidence in presenting my work and collaborating with coworkers.
Landon.
I think that just like once again, just building good connections with my coworkers can help me like even learn from them afterwards. It also helps like any new opportunities because they all come from like very different backgrounds in like the industry, and also like if they appreciate like my contributions, I can continue working with them, and that also help strengthen my resume. And then as well as like any skills that I pick up along the way can help me in any future endeavors and just help me be better at what I do.
Um, James Belize.
Yeah, well, they start up hoping to get the experience of working at a very fast-paced environment and also just to dabble in a variety of different fields within machine learning and software engineering, just to get a better sense of what I want to do in the future. And with that, I also want to take the project and the skills developed within those projects and have them in my resume and also include the projects in my portfolio and my GitHub. And yeah.
Oliver.
Um, I think having concrete project experience that like I can speak of in like interviews would help, and then just like growing a network that can lead to job interviews or like to job future job opportunities would be it's gonna be huge.
Thank you, everyone. I think everyone has gone. Next question is about your professional development. What are some things that you think you're great at professionally? For example, when people ask me this question, I always say that I'm a good communicator and I interview well. So, fun fact is that I'm really good at interviewing that I have not gotten a job that I interviewed for because I don't know, it's just I'm good at finding commonality with the people I interview with, and I try to also do my research beforehand before I do interviews with companies. So, what do you guys think what are you great at professionally? Let's start with you, Supandeep.
I would say that being dependable and meeting deadlines consistently is one of my strengths, and I would also say that being able to take feedback and acting on that feedback.
How about you, Oliver?
I think my time management is really good. I balance a lot of things pretty well. And then just like adaptability between like different projects. This is going to be like really good for a startup because everything's going to be different every single day. So I think this is a good skill that I have.
Landon.
Some things I'm good at professionally are I'm very good at like managing projects and meeting tight deadlines. I'd say my collaboration skills are pretty good. Like I'm able to take feedback and also like just help just kind of you know add more to the team. And then also like my communication skills are pretty good when it comes to like communicating just like complex ideas, just making things clear so that there's no confusion.
James Pelias.
Yeah, I would say I'm a good and fast self-learner. So learning new technologies and just apps quickly and adapting to new environments. And I would say I'm also good at staying organized and just tracking everything that I do.
How about you, James Evans?
Yeah, my boss said I was good at communication. I'm able to take these abstract ideas and clearly explain how they can be used to impact a startup in a certain way.
Awesome. That's really great to hear. And he emailed me and he said, like it was a match made in heaven. That's what he said, literally. You guys were a match made in heaven.
Yeah, we're getting along really well, having a great time.
How about you, Tanner?
I think I'm pretty good at communicating, also being able to put forth my own opinion and like have my own say in what I think should happen.
Okay. Kovas?
I think I'm great at working with the team, giving and receiving feedback, and then taking on multiple roles within the team.
Thank you. How about you, Lauren?
I would say I'm a good communicator. I'm pretty fast at emailing. I ask questions. I try to be clear and concise with my answers and questions. I say ha- have attention to detail. You know, I look for mistakes or go through everything before I submit. And I think that's important with data analysis, particularly. Um, I, I think that's it.
I would also say that you're a very hard worker. I actually told my colleagues about you specifically because you upskilled so quickly with data analytics. Like I could not believe like the certificates that you've completed.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. I was like, I would need to get this done for her.
yeah, it was really good to see. Um, how about you, Bipek? What are some things that you think you're good at professionally?
I think I'm very adaptable and observant. And along with that, I think um, I'm I'm pretty fine with receiving feedback, and I think I need to work on giving feedback properly. Yeah.
How about you, William?
I think that I'm good at time management, working efficiently, which helps me meet deadlines. And then also, I'm good at receiving and implementing feedback.
Alex?
Yeah, like most of them said, I think I'm good at communication, both sharing my ideas and voicing my opinions, and also over communicating, asking plenty of questions, and then um, from feedback that's given, implementing that because I'm always willing to learn and try new things.
Thank you, Alex. How about you, Wilfred?
Um, I think I'm really great at taking initiative and working independently, but also I think a big strength of mine is I'm a fast learner. When need to learn, whether it be learning a new skill or something, I like to immerse myself and just learn anything and everything, whether it's related or directly related or not to this topic that I'm learning. So I think that really helps me acquire skills fast and just learn things in general.
Thank you. Has everyone gone this time around? Okay. So what are some things that you think you can improve on professionally? On my end, I think I've discussed this in our mock interviews. I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes I take longer to do things because I like doing things a certain way. So that's something that I always try to improve on in every role I take on, in every promotion and every company, because I try to make sure that my I work on my type management skills so that my, like it doesn't hinder my performance. So, what do you guys think you can improve on professionally? Let's start with you, Wilfred.
One thing I think I can improve on, and I have been working on this, would probably be not being afraid or to ask questions early on into like for example, let's say I start this program. If there's something I don't know, not being afraid to just say, "Hey, I don't know. Just explain it to me." The earlier the better, because at 10, I notice at 10 to if there's something I don't understand, I'll just wait to go back home and then redo my own research on that and kind of waste time. Whether compared to if I just ask out, reach out, and say, "Hey, I don't understand this in the moment, in the right now," then I think it helps me learn and understand faster instead of waiting for a specific time and then going on my own. Basically, not wanting to seem like I don't know something, knowledgeable about a subject, if that makes sense or not. This is something I'm currently working on, and it has gotten better.
Thank you for sharing that. How about you, William?
Something that I think I can improve on professionally is just being more flexible with the ways that I do things. And then just in general being more open-minded, like thinking outside the box when it's required.
Alex?
I think one of the things, even though I mentioned I'm good at communicating my ideas and sharing things, I feel that sometimes I sort of prevent myself from wanting to share, like proposing new changes or presenting big ideas because of my inexperience and maybe think that I don't know enough to sort of have an opinion on some things. But I do want to get better at not being afraid to ask questions, but I'm also not being afraid to propose new things based on my own findings. And maybe, I could be a champion of, new product features, for example.
That's a good way to look at things. And I feel like that will really help. That will really help you in the long run to not, like hinder yourself from communicating with others, especially if you have great ideas that you just want to share. So yeah, in a startup industry, guys, don't be afraid to share your ideas because you never know if it's going to be the next big thing for that startup, especially because they're still growing. So make sure to share your ideas as often as you can. Be back.
Yeah, so I think what I need to improve on is I think I could be a better communicator, first of all, and also that asking the right question at the right time. I would say the timing is more important. So that's what I have to work on.
How about you, Kobas?
I think one thing I can improve upon is asking for help when needed. I mean, part of why I like working with data so much is because there's like a problem solving puzzle sort of piece to it. But sometimes I find myself really trying to work through it without using the resources around myself or around me. So I think, especially working at a startup with people who are well versed in their areas, I think it's going to be good to ask questions as quickly as possible, just so I'm able to learn quicker.
Thank you. Lauren.
Um, I think I need to work on my confidence. And what we were saying in my mock interview that um, I kept saying I feel or I believe, and I wasn't confident in myself or I think, and I need to learn to. I'm trying to say now I am or I know, and being more confident in myself. I've always doubted myself, and so that's always been an issue, and I'm trying to be better at it now that I'm more of an adult, and it shows more when you see other people who have confidence and you're speaking to them and they have all this experience, and if you have confidence in yourself and not necessarily all the experience, I don't know, it shows that at least you're confident person and people will take you more seriously.
And the first step in doing that is acknowledging that you need to gain more confidence. Uh, how about you, James Evans?
My dress. When I went to the trip to the city, I was well dressed. But when I'm at home doing these virtual meetings, um, my attire can be pretty casual.
Were they all dressed well as well when you were there?
Yeah, yeah. When we went to dinner, like I made sure to ask my boss, like, okay, are we like smart casual, business casual, or professionally dressed? And then he told me to wear some slacks and a golf shirt, and I was dressed pretty much the same way he was. So I did a good job with that, because it was important to leave a good impression. But, when I'm working with, the team and we all know each other well and I'm at home, um, I'm pretty casual with my dress, but I feel like I could do a better job and like, try to make sure I'm well dressed for all meetings.
And that sometimes happens when you're working remotely. Like there are times when, like you get out of bed and you instantly work and there's no in between. There's no like time to prepare because you jump right into it. And so what I try to do is I try to form habits that help me be more presentable, especially when I'm speaking with clients or students. So yeah, it's good to have that practice and also good to improve that because so that you get used to it when you're in the workforce. How about you, Tanner?
I think maybe being more comfortable networking because it's something that I sometimes have struggled with, like just reaching out to people cold. So maybe just like getting in the habit of talking to people and trying to build these connections.
Thank you. How about you, Sigmundeep?
I would say being more confident and also asking for help when needed instead of trying to handle everything on by myself.
Oliver.
I think um, becoming more confident in sharing my ideas and like not being afraid to like speak my mind when I can, like when I think I have a good idea or when I can like bring something forward to the table.
Thank you. Landon.
I think also just asking questions like when I need help. I think that's something I need to work on a little bit. And then also, same thing with just being confident in my ideas and being able to like speak up and like voice my thoughts and opinions.
Wilfred.
Wait, is this the same question? I can
Improve.
improve. Number five?
Oh, are you done? Sorry.
Yeah, I already answered it.
Okay, sorry. Is there anyone else who hasn't answered question number 5?
Yeah, I have an answer.
Okay, Ed.
Yeah, so I'd say I don't break my work up into reasonable time blocks. I tend to work towards things at a lengthy blocks, I guess lengthy blocks, without taking too many breaks. But I do know taking a break is effective, especially when you're coding. So I have been doing that a lot more lately.
That's good. And I always when you're working remotely, I always encourage students to like go to coffee shops or parks or work from outside, not all the time, but of course, like take a break and change your scenery so that you'll have like a better perspective. And it's good to take breaks, of course. Okay, last 2 questions and then we can wrap it up. What specific habits would you like to develop, either professionally or personally? Let's start with you, Landon.
Some habits that I'd like to develop is definitely like a good like work routine and a good work schedule. Because mainly most of my hours are I'd say are kind of like on my own time. It's more or less like just getting things done like and like when they need to be and just making sure that I get them done. So definitely having like a good habit and routine established is what I want to do. And then also just checking in with like my boss and just making sure it's to try and just like be comfortable with like my coworkers.
Oliver.
Something I want to develop is daily planning. So I know exactly what I have to do that day and I get that done.
Wilfred.
Something a habit I like to develop would probably be note taking, a system for taking notes when I'm in a new environment or learning something new. Because I think my notes used to be done in a way where I thought, oh, if somebody else took a look at my notes, they'd be able to understand. And I'm starting to realize that the way I take notes should be more internalized, where it makes sense to me and it's just more efficient that way. So I'm just trying to develop that and build on that for this program.
I also suggest that if you guys are joining meetings, especially important meetings with your CEO or supervisors, ask them if you could record the call and use an AI note taker. I always use like Fathom or Firefly so that you guys can, it helps aid with note taking, especially if you can't, because, you're not expected to write everything down or type everything down when you're having meetings. So make sure to find other means so that you guys can, don't forget anything. James, please.
Yeah, I would say I want to stay as organized as possible. So that would be also keeping a journal of projects that I've done, how I did them, for future references after the internship and also during the internship, because I think that's also a good way to avoid just asking the same questions over and over. And I know a lot of people also mention this, but I would also say I also want to develop just better skills in general in networking and keeping a long-lasting connection even after the internship.
Thank you, James. And I like what you said about like keeping journals. So my suggestion to you guys for the software people here, update your GitHub when you can, especially during the internship so you don't forget. If you can do like have public repositories, please do that because most of the companies that you're going to be interviewing in the future will look at the most recent and updated repositories that you have. And for sales and business development or marketing students, make sure to keep track of projects that you've done from start to finish and add it to your resume. Continuously add it to your resume so you don't forget. Sukhmindi.
I would say like I would keep like a log of what I've done so far and track if I'm on schedule to meet deadlines and also setting like daily tasks of what I expect to be done by the end of the day.
Tanner.
Yeah, I think creating a routine, just having a very structured day, in addition to keeping a to-do list, both for like responsibilities for work and personal life.
Landon.
Is this still question 6?
Yes. Are you done?
Uh,
Okay.
I already answered that, yeah.
James Evans.
Um, I would like to start keeping track of my time so I can analyze my habits and adjust the structure of my day to be more efficient.
Thank you. How about you, Kovas?
I would like to develop a daily schedule and a routine and just pointing out daily tasks that I have to do and becoming more organized as a whole.
Good. Lauren?
Yeah, I would like to create a schedule and because I'm working like 8 hours continuously and I'm used to just doing my schoolwork whenever is convenient during the week and to meet deadlines and so I'm not used to like 8 consecutive hours and so probably just taking breaks because that helps me to refresh and also creating a list of what I have to do each day and then at the end of the day like what did I accomplish today and also my supervisor I like that she wants to meet with me like once a week and she wants to meet with me like the first week maybe like every day and so I think so having those habits like me knowing I'm going to meet with her every week is good because then I can ask questions and or know what to expect and so that will be helpful.
How about you, Oliver? Have you gone yet?
I have gone, yeah.
Okay, be back.
Yeah, so I would like to put myself in a system, like, so I have a balanced day and where I can also track my work, like what I have to do throughout the day, you know? So, yeah.
William.
I'd like to learn to think more holistically about my work. So like when I'm doing a specific task, like kind of thinking outside of that and like what that task is doing for like the broader purpose of the company. And then also I'd like to learn asking smart questions.
Wilfred.
I think I'd like to get better at having clear and structured communication with superiors or just other people in general because I think I have these ideas like I think so much of these ideas, but it's hard for me to clearly portray them or explain them to somebody in a sense where they can understand the whole like kind of the way I think. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but there's a lot that goes into that. But basically, just kind of improve my communication with superiors and my ideas, if that makes sense.
Yes. Anyone else who has gone? Okay, last question. What specific qualities would you like to develop? For qualities, confidence or ambition? So what kind of flexibility? What kind of qualities would you guys like to develop? Let's start with you, Vivek.
Yeah, sure. So, I would like to develop, like, I want to be more responsible and be confident to represent my work in front of people. And yeah, later I probably want to develop a good leadership skill. So yeah.
Thank you. How about you, Wilfred?
I think in terms of qualities, I'd really like to be someone that's able to think strategically, meaning like I want to start thinking in quarters or like a more longer timeline instead of just weeks or days. That makes sense?
Yes. Oliver.
I want to start thinking in a more of a growth mindset. So, um, like appreciating that I'm gonna learn something every day, and maybe if I have a setback, like viewing that as a learning opportunity, not um, something that went horribly wrong that I can't learn anything from.
Okay. William.
I said proactiveness, curiosity, and then also composure under pressure.
Nice. Kobas.
Working with a startup, I think I would love to become more adaptable, just wearing multiple hats, taking on whatever they give me. And also just getting 1% better every day, having a holistic growth mindset.
Thank you. How about you, Lauren?
I'd like to develop leadership skills from learning from how the supervisor and the CEO leads their teams, and then also I want to get better at public speaking because I tend to keep talking when I'm nervous and I need to work on that. And so I hope that through these Zoom meetings I'll get better at speaking to people I'm not as familiar with.
Thank you, Lauren. James Evans.
Yeah, spontaneous. I go to new places and try new things. I feel like I'm overly disciplined and I kind of place myself, in a box.
It's also good to get out of the box once in a while, for sure. Sukhmandeep.
I would say that I would want to work on my confidence and also like communicating early so the company knows what to expect of me.
James Pelias.
Yeah, I would say definitely confidence and leaderships are the two biggest ones. And I would also say a good sense of work-life balance, which I'm realizing in college I definitely needed to improve on.
Tanner. Are you able to speak? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe a little bit of confidence in that, I guess speaking in front of like an entire group, like the entire company might is like a little nerve-wracking at the moment, but I think I'll be more comfortable with it as I go.
And you're gonna start tomorrow, so you'll get like firsthand experience of that.
Yeah.
Landon, have you gone?
I think I like to work a lot on my confidence and like asserting my ideas more, as well as also like improving like strategic thinking and just really going beyond my comfort zone to just really get as much as I can out of these opportunities.
Awesome. Who else has not gone? Okay, so since everyone has gone, what I would like to you guys to do is fill out the document that I sent you, PDF file, send it over. If you have already sent it over, please also include your WhatsApp number in your in the email that you're gonna send because I'm creating a WhatsApp group for our cohort in case of emergencies or reminders. So I want to make sure that you guys are all in the group. So when you send over this email with a PDF file, please make sure that you include your WhatsApp number. And for you guys who are still editing your resume, please make sure that those are done tomorrow. Or if you haven't sent your resume, please send them over so I can work on them right away. And said, next week is what we call our offline week. So what we're going to do is we're going to do offline wellness partners. So there are 24 of you guys in this cohort, so you will be paired perfectly. I'm going to assign you guys a random partner. I'm going to introduce you to each other in an email, add their email address, contact information. So you guys can jump on a Zoom call, WhatsApp call, FaceTime, whatnot, and then ask the questions that I'm going to send you. We want to make sure that you guys are taking care of your mental health throughout this whole process. So make sure to find some time to speak with each other and talk about issues if there are any, and also talk about other things that may you may need help with your startup, that you need advice from other people. It takes a village, honestly, to be successful. So make sure that you guys are very open with your wellness partner. So that's for next week. I'm going to give that information tomorrow, and you'll need to submit and have interviewed with your wellness partner by Sunday next week. Any questions? Okay, and the following week after that is our elevator pitch and networking event. So make sure that you guys come ready and prepared for your 30-second elevator pitch. If you don't know what that is, I'll send over more information before our next event. Otherwise, I look forward to you guys' let me know how things are going with your startup. Let me know how things are going with your interviews. I'm always here at your disposal. And if you are having any issues, again, do not suffer in silence. Let me know right away. I'm gonna stop this recording.